Well, just woke up. And by just woke up, I mean I've been up for the last 4 hours doing a bunch of other things, and now I am here, ready to record my reaction to chapter 220 of Rent-A-Girlfriend. And woohoo, who's ready for a shocking development? I am. Well, I can see this going essentially two ways. One, Reishi does the thing where he kind of eases us into it, but then as we're getting into it, boom, everything explodes and we all die. Or, everything explodes and we all die. We'll see what happens. So, with that being the case, hi, I am Fate, and welcome to my channel. I do Rent-A-Girlfriend content, and hopefully other content soon. Today I'm going to do a quick, easy reaction about Rent-A-Girlfriend, and now, without further ado, let's mosey! And by let's mosey, I mean let me get ready. Oh, I like to put my feet up. It's very comfy. Oh, these are not clean scans, yay. Okay. Chapter 220, The Girlfriend and Paradise Part 32, Miyajima Reishi. With that ultra-tight body has an ultra-tight grip on my heart. Damn. Damn. He going in. That man's ready to just deck me in the heart real quick. Flex his artistic skills, you know? Oh wow, they're just having fun at the pool. She's probably trying to let go. Wow, they are getting very vivid. Well, they weren't kidding. They weren't kidding. Ah! No. It's a little late to be getting googly-eyed over her. The more I think about it, the more I wonder why I confessed in the first place. I regret things more and more with every passing minute. Yes, that's exactly how it goes, unfortunately, at least in the very beginning.
Wow.
Mizuharu's a national treasure, a Venus every man would like to date. Grace us with your heavenly gaze. Like she'd feel anything special for a schmuck like me. I don't know why, I love it when characters like Kazuya use the word schmuck. For some reason it just, I don't know, something about it works. It makes them feel more down to earth, you know? I don't know if he actually said it or if it's just the translators doing it, but you know, I think it's a more English word, so probably not, but for that, props to the translators. Just look at this trip, the room, the discount, the swimsuit, it's off the book. Let's go on the lazy river. I'm down. Let's do it. And a confession to top it off. It all basically adds up to a royal flush of broken rules. I like that. I froze. The moment I saw Mami, I fucking froze. Shit, I didn't see that coming. The only thing that's kept this strip alive is Mizuharu's compassion. What's there to love about a guy like me who breaks every rule in the book? Okay, this is important. These pieces of dialogue are important. I know they feel repetitive, but they are important to Kazuya's character because they show how he was progressing and starting to change as a person, and then as these things occurred, because of Chizuru's choices, he started to spiral backwards and view himself less and less and less. And unfortunately, an important aspect of this series is that Kazuya is starting to learn the importance of self-love, but unfortunately he's kind of putting it on top of Chizuru. That's something I think a lot of people misinterpret about this series, is that it's trying to teach him the importance of self-love in himself without necessarily Chizuru, and unfortunately he doesn't see these things. And that's something he's starting to learn through this arc. There's nothing more beautiful than the fish that got away. Damn.
Ah, here you are. I've been looking everywhere. I went as far as Springtown. I couldn't find you guys anywhere.
Mami-chan. Ah, Mami-chan. Sorry, we've been kinda all over the place.
You're ninjas.
Wasn't Mizuharu saying something was up with Mami-chan? Is this okay? But then Mizuharu said things were fine.
Cheese.
Some guys hit on me. Huh? Seriously? God, keep it.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Ah, cold. That caught me off guard. Ah, are you okay? You made me jump. Attack me while I'm vulnerable. Oh, good. It really does seem like things are fine. Next time someone asks me what I'm scared of, I'm gonna say waterfalls. What? I think this is Ruka? Wow, this is so cool. There's a hot tub by the pool. That makes so much sense. The classic everyone gets cold and bunches into the hot tub. Ah, gets right down to the bones. What are you, a jobless old man? What? Why would I be jobless? That reminds me, I've been kind of oblivious. It'll be winter soon. A lot happened last winter, but I kind of enjoyed it. Mizuhara gave me a Christmas present, apology. The New Year shrine visit, Ruka-chan was there too, being surrounded by girls, it seems impossible. I can't leave the Ruka situation like this. Who knows when we'll get into another jam. I need to make things clear once we're back in Narima. I guess this winter, I'll be alone again. Wait, why is the family here? It's going according to plan, I can feel it! Oh, Mami dono, I see you met with the group. Ah, Negami-san, hola. I find the art style really interesting. Like something about the art style is like really different. Like look at the roundy, cutesy art style of the characters. They feel so different in this one. Like the girls are mostly similar and Kazuya is kind of the same, but like look at Kibe for example, and look at like Curry. They look a little different. Like the way the family's drawn here looks like a plushy kind of style. I don't know, I like it. What's with you, Yoshika? You look like a jobless old man. What? Why do I look like I can't say it with a straight face. What? Why do I look like jobless to everybody? Right? Why am I the butt of the joke? Well, everybody, what do you say we head to the open-air baths and eat some dinner while we soak? I thought I'd come get you all. Let's do it. There's an arcade on the way that lets you wear swimsuits inside. An arcade? Then how about we get some photo booth pictures done and finish things at the pool? Yeah, a little something to remember the trip. It's like a school field trip. Okay, so my first guess was right. He's easing us into it. He's pulling this sense of dread based on what he said from last time, and I feel like things are gonna explode in our face. I hope it doesn't end on a cliffhanger with the explosion. It might. I feel like it might. Just based on like how everything has been up to this point, but we'll see. When in your life did you ever imagine you'd be surrounded by 3 gorgeous women? Hey, it finally clicked to him. Even in a situation like this, Mizuhara is doing a flawless job of playing my girlfriend. Grandma and Kibe don't seem to have a clue. What happens in paradise stays in paradise. So ends my days of renting girlfriends. At the very least, maybe I can make my final memory be a positive one. Oh, yeah, it's gonna start right now. The moment he fucking said that shit and it panned to Chizuru, here we go, it's gonna happen. Well, should we head over to the arcade then? Let's go. Woohoo!
Wait up, don't leave me behind.
Cheeky shit. Yo, that's some cheeky shit. I love it. That's some cheeky shit. Clever. She's not the bad guy. Cheeky shit. Oops, Mami don't know. You dropped your Mom? What? Huh? Huh? What's up? Great. Huh? Eh? What's going on? Something... the fuck? Yo, just straight up the fuck? Huh? Huh? Clever. So cheeky. Ah, the panning! The panning is godlike! Yo! The phone displays the secret they've kept for so long. The ultimate trial draws near. Next time, Lifeline. Oh, what a way to end it! Yo, crazy. Seriously, one thing I hate that nobody fucking compliments Reggie on is how he fucking panels shit. It literally guides your eyes. You know exactly where you're looking. Like it's literally the fucking Dragon Ball effect. It's like when you're reading Dragon Ball and how characters swing and you know how to follow the motion. It's literally the same shit. You look at Chizuru here, it zooms in on Chizuru's face, you see Grandma Negami, the phone, then you see the phone clearing up, and bam, you see the picture, and then it pans to Kazuya. And I love this specific shot because of how Kazuya is like looking at us while Mami is walking away. She literally knows she won. That's some villain shit. That's some top tier villain shit. Just walked, she didn't even turn. She knew exactly what she fucking did. She didn't even turn. And then she's gonna turn and play like the sad, oh, it's not my fault, I'm sorry. She's so good. What the fuck? Mami is such a good fucking villain, dude. Nobody gives Mami enough credit. She's such a good fucking villain. Like, okay, seriously, like, it's not just how she's presented and what she does. It's like she's literally just a really complicated character too, and that really bolsters her storytelling in general. Like the way she's presented and what she does. Like, man, she's such a good character. Ooh, lifeline. Okay. Yeah, so now things are gonna explode in Chizuru's face. This is actually insanely fitting, and you can tell this was going to happen from the very beginning of this arc. The very, very beginning of this arc. If you go back to what I believe is chapter 188, which is when this arc started, it was literally the Girlfriend in Paradise Part 1. All of the events that transpire within that arc, let me just pull it up and show you. I was there yesterday. I'm working on a little something special, and I was there yesterday, and I was like kind of going through it a little bit. So let's go back. So when you start, okay, I have to do it the other way. God damn it. When you start the arc, it starts and depicts exactly as how the entire arc has been going. Fun family shit, a little bit of misunderstanding. Kazuya kind of misunderstanding his grandma. As you continue, Kazuya thinks about all this. Sees Chizuru with the swimsuit. This becomes a reoccurring pattern for Kazuya, as he's essentially just viewing this Chizuru in this like really sexual manner. He's really into her and shit. As the arc continues, he's trying to ignore it. He's trying to pretend it's not happening, and constantly Chizuru's choices continue to hurt him more and more, even though he kind of believes this to be true in some way. So as they continue, Kazuya gets into his whole thing, and he meets up with Chizuru. He's ready to confess. He wants to apologize first. So he apologizes. Chizuru doesn't respond. This becomes a reoccurring pattern through the arc. Even though to some people it feels off, it's a good reoccurring pattern. It does something very important for Chizuru's character, as you're seeing her essentially struggle to come to terms with trying to face her fears, and in the process trying to have everything she wants. She's trying to the issue with Chizuru is the thing that's kind of happens with a lot of Spider-Man movies. The whole theme of and yeah, I know I'm comparing Chizuru to Spider-Man.
What is this? I feel... Wow. This feels good.
But for fuck's sake, it's so similar. Chizuru's essentially trying to live a double life. She's trying to have everything she wants, yet at the same time, she's being forced to choose and make choices that she doesn't want to have to make. She's trying to live the perfect relationship with Kazuya, trying to keep his family happy, yet at the same time, she wants to share her feelings with Kazuya, and she wants to be with him. So naturally, she keeps trying to play this limbo game, where she's trying to balance everything together, and in the end, it all explodes in her face. This is presented to you from the very beginning of this arc, and this never fucking changes. This is why I say this is good writing, because in reality, all of these things are foreshadowed and presented to you. Hell, this entire arc actually started in chapter 167, where you see the whole premiere thing happen, and the premiere essentially signals the end of the movie arc. Here, let's go there really quick. Yeah, 167, I believe it's 167, or it's 168. Yeah, it's 167. You see the premiere's over. Chizuru thinks about Kazuya. The whole thing with chapter 164 already happened. Chizuru already tried opening up to Kazuya, and you see here, she's trying to do more of that. Chizuru's trying to do more of the whole opening up thing. But the issue is this line right here, while it seems really innocent and kind of cute and kind of beautiful in the moment, it's very important to Chizuru's character, as it shows a great deal of her naivety. A lot of what happens within this story is this. Characters say things, but the way that the other characters interpret it, or the way they themselves interpret it, does not necessarily align with the meaning that you think it aligns with, especially with how it's being presented. These are extremely important, as all the characters are unreliable narrators. You cannot trust anybody within this story, and I think a lot of people greatly misunderstand that, as this is not a story where the characters just kind of say what they feel, or do what they feel, or just do what they want to. Reishi's trying to depict how people actually act in real life, and not everybody, especially young people like them, struggling with anxiety and real issues and flaws that make them human, especially Kazuya. Kazuya is extremely misjudged for how he's being presented, and I think it's really unfortunate, just because like he's really just an accurate depiction of a young dude who's just like, he has a lot of anxiety issues and all that shit going on. We've all been like, anybody who's had a relationship, has had a breakup or something along those lines can kind of empathize with Kazuya, as they have experienced what he has experienced and they have gone through these terrible spirals that he has gone through. And I think this is the issue with chapter 218, where I think what Reiji was trying to do, and I personally felt it was successful, a lot of people probably disagree with me here, is Reiji was essentially trying to make you feel exactly as Kazuya feels. You feel how those memories that Kazuya had were being robbed of him. You're feeling how every single piece just fucking hurts more and more and more. And the more you continue with the chapter, the more you feel hurt, because you're just seeing Chizuru with Umi, and it just fucking breaks you apart, because the way Umi has been presented versus how Umi actually is completely different to us as the audience versus like how we see Umi, especially in the end of the Tiger's Den, because in the end of Tiger's Den, you literally see Umi as like actually kind of a nice guy. Like, he's actually trying to be nice with Kazuya. He's giving him hints, he's giving him clues, he's trying to figure it out. He's literally just trying to measure Kazuya. He's just trying to see if, like, what's different between him and Kazuya, like just little things like that. And I think unfortunately Kazuya just has this like self-inferiority complex that he's going through all the time, so he views Umi in such a negative way. And then you get to the whole thing that was going on in 218, where you have this whole sequence that everybody took out of context and everybody just kind of spun it to be NTR, because on the surface level it does kind of look like NTR. Kazuya sees, though, he's like imagining it in the pool, he gets a big bad bee. You know exactly what I meant by that. I'm just gonna avoid the word because I don't know what YouTube is like. And then of course you have the whole sequence where Kazuya just falls apart and cries. What I think people completely misunderstood there is Reiji tries to portray character progression through how the characters present themselves and how they act. Kazuya immediately gets out of that and tries to maintain himself throughout the entire trip. Even though he's getting these feelings, he's trying to control himself. The way the chapter starts eases you into it, because the way 218 starts essentially starts with Kazuya feeling like shit, but he's trying to maintain himself. But as the chapter continues, you see the glass crack more and more and more. And it's crazy too, because like the whole scene with Iruka, everybody loved that scene, but when I looked at it, I'm like, yo, that's just pain. And like, while you're feeling, oh, happy someone said that to you, you're thinking about how the other person rejected you. And then as you walk, you see all the little details that just remind you of them, and you can't unsee them. It just keeps coming back and haunting you over and over and over and over again. And I think the really big thing that kind of just set everybody off is like Kazuya just having the 6-incher out. Like that's literally like, I think what everybody kind of got upset about in terms of that chapter, besides the whole fact that chapter 218 is indeed rather graphic. It is very graphic. It is a very mature chapter. It is a chapter that kind of wants you to really understand, and if you don't understand it, it really hurts. In that sense, the chapter ends up being a double-edged sword. You kind of don't really know how to feel. It's a double-edged sword where you as a viewer feel very conflicted. Like, one way I can definitely interpret the chapter is, imagine like a glass of water and the glass is just slowly cracking the more the chapter continues until it just leaks everywhere. And that's literally just what was happening with Kazuya. I could literally hear glass just cracking like the entire time. And that was kind of the chapter. So Kazuya's pain and suffering that he goes through is literally a consequence of Chizuru's choices. And I think a lot of people hate Chizuru for that reason now. A lot of people misinterpret and hate Chizuru for that very reason, when in reality, what Reiji's showing us here is a young adult trying to deal with her issues, trying to live this double perfect life, and it's all just coming back to haunt her, because she knows what the perfect solution is. She doesn't want to accept that solution, because in the end, it comes back to this line. I feel like the human heart isn't big enough to hold both sorrow and joy. Again, it seems like a cute line in passing, but think about what that means. Chizuru's trying to protect the family, Chizuru's trying to protect Kazuya, yet at the same time she's trying to maintain this lie. As a consequence, she runs around ragged trying to stop Mami on her own, all on her own, without talking to anybody, without telling Kazuya, without telling anything. And what ends up happening? Mami blows it all up in her face. Mami telling her, I'm trying to save you, I think this is just a theory.
No, I don't think I will.
I think Mami essentially saying to her, I'm trying to save you, is not directly the whole Kazuya thing. Rather, I think what she was saying is, let me give you the easier way out. Let me give you this easier way out. If you take this way, the way of telling her yourself, you won't suffer as much, and it won't come out like this. You'll get the chance to do it, you know, and maybe that'll be easier for you. But then she chooses that route, and now everybody gets hurt. Everybody's the bad guy. Boom, it blows up in her face. And I think that's literally what happened. It's interestingly, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, despite being a bad film with a bad script, actually had a good depiction of Spider-Man and what was going on with his character. The movie has so many fucking issues, but it does justice to the character of Peter Parker and the struggle to be Spider-Man much better, in my opinion, than Tobey Maguire. Genuinely, like, you can feel Peter's struggle, you can feel the issues that he's going through, like divide that's happening, especially with how he essentially controls time throughout the entire film, only for it to just come back and bite him in the end with, you know, spoilers, how he ends up losing everything as a consequence of his action. And despite that, he clings on to hope and he keeps moving forward. And this is, I think, what is the themes of this entire arc. I will make a video a lot more in depth about this, but I think the themes of this arc are sacrifice, atonement, forgiveness, and of course the whole clashing of dreams and reality. And finally, hope. I think those are like kind of the big themes of this arc. And a lot of people hate, I believe, let me find it. I think it's chapter 189. A lot of people hate 189 now because of what Chizuru says on the train. You know, this particular scene. A lot of people hate this scene now. However, what you're not understanding is that this scene is literally foreshadowing, but also like in the sense that Chizuru is trying to have this, but she keeps going back and trying to solve it on her own, in the process making a bigger and bigger and bigger spiral, because every paradise has its shadows, and unfortunately all of Chizuru's story is kind of hidden in the shadows, so it's hard for a lot of audiences to interpret and understand. But if you pay attention to the writing, it works. That's the issue. If you take the chapters as you see them in a bubble, if you take these things separated like that, it's unfortunate that it'll happen like this, especially since a lot of the ways the series is presented is very memeable. Well, let's be honest. It's so memeable. Fortunately, these memes and hate and anger is stretching out to season 2, which really kind of sucks because I actually think season 2, it'll probably be drastically better than season 1, considering how much effort they put in to make it better. They took like an entire year delay just to make it better. So with that being the case, it's unfortunate that it's stretching out to season 2, and these are things I definitely want to address in a more formal kind of context where I kind of write like something for it. That's why I'm kind of doing this review where I'm just going through things, spitfiring, and, you know, not super editing all of this stuff. So, with that being the case, it's unfortunate that that's happening to season 2, but with this line, the whole point of this line is that this is what will inevitably end up happening in the end, but this is something Chizuru continues to struggle with. The reason this line even happens is because it's a spur of emotion. Chizuru, rather than trying to plan everything out, sees Kazuya struggling and chooses to help him. But in the entire arc, she's trying to stick to a plan. She's trying to deal with the whole Ruka situation, and in the process, it backfires in her face. Chizuru is a person who comes up with plans, who comes up with all these schemes and solutions, but the moment they don't work, they explode in her face. That's why Mami showing up essentially made Chizuru freak the fuck out, because Chizuru was prepared for Ruka, not Mami. Why do you think the whole Ruka situation gets resolved in a single fucking chapter, but gets dragged out because Mami is present? See what I'm saying? The whole thing with Mami makes Chizuru unsettled and makes her make all these dumb choices and freak out. Add that with the fact that Chizuru is still in fucking grief, and you have essentially a situation to just explode in your face. This even ties in the whole bad advice thing. This even ties in with chapter 202, I believe, or 203. Let me double check. 202 is the one where they go... Oh my god, this one, yeah. 202 is this one, the one where Chizuru has the flashback with her grandmother. As long as you keep that in mind, they'll surely be drawn to you, anyone you'd want to have by your side. And yet, because Chizuru has these thoughts, because Chizuru has brought these people in and she wants to protect them at all costs, including Kazuya, she's trying to do it all on her own. This image right here actually shows that isolation perfectly, because Chizuru is kind of just singled out all on her own, even though she's surrounded by these people. Chizuru is a person who tries to do everything on her own. That's the point. And the issue is, it comes back to haunt her. It comes back to destroy everything that she cares for because she's trying to do it on her own. This is literally why I compare Chizuru to Spider-Man. I know it's fucking stupid to some of you, but this is literally how I see Chizuru. She's a person who's trying to live a double life. Chizuru has made the connection. She just really wants to protect it. But in the process, she hurts them. That's essentially the reoccurring theme of this entire arc. And the thing that I think people are just completely misinterpreting, they're viewing Chizuru as a terrible character, as a terrible person for the choices that she makes, when in reality she's just a young adult trying to figure out her feelings and her emotions, trying to protect them. Even ties into chapter like 190, or what was the one, 206 or 205, where the one that started the whole debacle, where this thing where Chizuru comes to talk to Kazuya, and then she keeps trying to start conversations, and then she goes back on it because she panics. She can't stand the silence. Chizuru never stands the silence. Remember, every time Kazuya and Chizuru interact, she's the one who starts conversations. She panics, she tries to leave, and remember, how do you continue conversation? You bring up the rental thing, because easy solutions. So she brings up the rental thing, and she wants to give him a discount, she wants to help him, she's trying to be nice, but to the audience it could come off as her just being like, oh, what the fuck, yeah, like, you're gonna still charge him even though he brought you on the trip and you're the one who agreed, yada. Do you see what I'm saying? It's easy to misinterpret the actions of the characters when you see them in a void, but when you see the intent behind the action, you kind of understand where she's coming from. And so, unfortunately, what she doesn't realize she did here is she hurt Kazuya. This again shows another aspect of Chizuru's character. She's not experienced in romance. She's not. She has a textbook understanding of romance. She knows how she should act, how she should present herself. That's why she shows herself as this perfect Madonna to everybody. But she's not. In fact, she's really stupid in terms of romance. And that's really funny to me because Chizuru is a great rental girlfriend, but she's terrible at romance. She's terrible at conveying her emotions. She's terrible at doing these things. This isn't to say she's never had a romantic relationship in the past, but it's clear that she has never had one this intimate, this deep, and this important to her, and one she struggles to convey. This is a coming-of-age narrative, not just for Kazuya, but for Chizuru. Chizuru is the main character, Kazuya is the protagonist. You see what I'm saying? The story, at the moment at the very least, revolves around Chizuru. The narrative has agency around her, not Kazuya. Before, Kazuya had a lot more like agency within the narrative. Like, for example, he started the entire movie arc. He did a lot of the things that occurred within that arc. He had the whole thing with Grandma Sayuri. But within this arc, Kazuya is essentially being pushed back. He has no control of the situation because essentially it's her. She's the one causing the issue. She's the one making things spiral. And she knows it. She feels guilty about it. In 209, she literally admits if they talked, if Kazuya and her just fucking talked, they could solve this issue. She tries to do it, and then changes, and then pauses and changes her mind, then the doorbell rings. Then she walks away and even admits it. This whole scene caused another fucking debacle, because I think people are just misunderstanding what she's saying here. Tell me, do you still have feelings for Mami-san? She's not saying, do you still love her? Do you still have like that kind of feelings for her? She's literally thinking of this. Do you still have a lingering attachment to this person? Because if I tell you this, it will fucking hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. But she's just saying this to avoid. She's just saying this to nothing in front of her. And she doesn't inevitably ask. She's just wondering this. And in the process, what happens? Kazuya gets hurt. She makes choices to protect their truth, to protect their precious little lie, but in the process, she destroys it, and she destroys him. Chizuru essentially is like a walking cataclysm, destroying everything in front of her, and she doesn't even realize. Again, literally the dilemma of Spider-Man, the dilemma of the double personality. And this is exactly what's going on with Chizuru within this entire arc. And I will gladly make a more complex, delved into script for this, just to kind of really explain exactly what's going on with Chizuru's character, because I think people are just misunderstanding this entire story to fucking hell. Like, people just don't understand what's going on with this story because of the fact that a lot of these things, the way they're presented, essentially want you to think, to go out of your way to understand the context of the scenarios that are happening and why, especially if you read it in a binge. A lot of these things are presented in a mystery style. They're presented in a way that doesn't give you the full answers, it gives you strings. It gives you clues of what's going on, but they don't spell it out for you. You have to go back and understand the context of scenarios and why they're happening. And unfortunately, with this kind of arc, the reason it can have a double-edged sword is that it's great for binging, but when you're reading it on its own, when you're reading it in a bubble, unfortunately, it can hurt the viewership. It can hurt some people. This arc essentially sets up for each character to learn and improve themselves through the issues that they face. Hell, Mami is literally the other side of the coin for Chizuru. They are so fucking similar, it's insane. That's why Mami is a great villain. It's not just because she has this aura that controls the room. It's because Mami actually, like, narratively speaking, actually has an amazing parallel to Chizuru's character, and she is the antagonist, and therefore, because she parallels Chizuru's character in such a sense, she will help her evolve and push past her issues. In my opinion, this isn't going to create a separation arc. Rather, it specifically comes back to the issues that these characters are dealing with, and the fact that it came out in such a way will inevitably come back to bite them in the ass. And naturally, Kazuya will try to take the bullet for it, Chizuru will try to save him, and you know, there's still going to be issues with the family and things that are happening. So this will be really interesting, especially seeing how the family reacts, considering what they've been saying, what they've been doing up until this point. So that's going to be really interesting to see. I don't think Grandma Negami is going to have like a heart attack or anything like that. I think there's just going to be a lot of talking and conversation and a lot of emotions floating around, especially from someone like Kibe, who is very emotional. So this will be a very interesting arc moving forward. I'm just saying it right now. Like, from here on out, things are just going to explode. Day 1 essentially acted as the setup. Day 2 is literally where the action all just starts and inevitably explodes in the main characters' faces. So this is my rough video kind of reaction / analysis that I made, just really quick for you guys, because I feel like a lot of people just kind of misunderstand things, and these are things I've always wanted to say about this story, but you know, I always over edit and overdo things, so in the process I kind of like hurt my own viewership, and I'm dumb for that. It's okay. We're learning, we're improving. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you enjoyed this content, you can follow me on Twitter, where I actually talk about this stuff among other animes and shit that we'll inevitably talk about here. I don't know what I also do. I don't know where I was going with that. Also, if you enjoyed the content, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell icon. I'm gonna chill. I need you guys to subscribe. I need to grow, get some viewership, do all that shenanigans, you know. And yeah, whenever I do inevitably get with content that is not Rent a Girlfriend, be warned, don't leave my channel. I'm not quitting Rent a Girlfriend. I'm just talking about things that aren't it, because there are other things I really enjoy, especially with this anime season, with, for example, My Dress Up Darling coming out. The manga for that shit, you can actually make a comparison between Rent a Girlfriend and My Dress Up Darling in a really interesting way, because My Dress Up Darling is actually a very well written manga, and has a really good anime adaptation, even though it's very fan servicey. But yeah, that's another one I definitely want to talk about. I also want to talk about like games and shit like that. Like, there's games I really want to analyze and break into. So yeah, I've been Fate. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope it's not too long. If it is, well, sorry, not sorry. And yeah, this will probably be a lot less edited. See you guys next time, and thank you guys for watching. I've been Fate, and it's Mosey.